Hey, this is Dean Soto from the Online Empire Academy. Hope you're doing well. And in this video, I want to go a little bit deeper into the Keyword Inspector it's the Keyword Inspector Product Research Tool, otherwise known as KIPRT. It's a pretty cool tool, a cool tool that rhymes, and it is also one of the most confusing tools out of the Keyword Inspector suite. But I wanted to go through this just to show you how I go about using it, and kind of go into some of the data. Not the data, the fields that you can use. So in the previous video, we talked about the data that comes in KIPRT. It's kind of crazy, really weird data that you get, but it's really cool data at the same time. Sales prices, like you can get the different prices that it was at some point in time. You can get how many things it's selling now, et cetera, et cetera. So you want to check out that video if you haven't seen that. But in this video, I'm going to show you the actual fields that you can use, and then just give you some quick ideas on how to use them. And then at the end of the video, I do have a really cool free course on how I use this to find wholesale products. You can use it to find wholesale products, private label products, things like that, that you can get as well. All right, so first things first, you're gonna let's just go through some of this data, and then we'll actually run one search. Okay, so if you go into, sorry, not the data, the forms. If you go to KIPRT, if you ever used it, you go to this KIPRT button, you're going to go to this new product research right here, and you're just going to see this form. And you're going to go, what the heck is this? I don't know what to do. I just want to find products. Please help me find products. And it's a little confusing. It totally is. But hopefully this video will make it a lot less confusing. So let's just go down the line. So the first thing you can do with KIPRT is you can search product titles. Okay, so that's what this is right here. You can search product titles. Now, to me, if you're doing product research and you have no idea really what you want to start trying to sell, or maybe import, or get a wholesale vendor or whatever, you're generally not going to want to use this. Now, you can. So if I put in, say, like turtle house or something like that, because I already know I want to go after turtle houses, I can do that. But generally what this is going to do, it's going to search all of the titles that KIPRT has within its database, and give you back those titles and give the data associated with those titles. So personally, I don't use this pretty much ever, because I'm using it for finding other different types of products. But you can. So you can type in whatever you want there, and it'll search the titles. And one thing to note with KIPRT is that it's going off its own database that it gets, and it continually processes and processes and processes. So sometimes, say a new product that just came out, it might not actually be in there. Sometimes it might have wacky data or data that was old or whatever. It's because it's constantly refreshing, and sometimes it takes a few days, sometimes it takes a week or so. Okay. All right. So all that being said, that's your product titles right there. You can search by that. Okay. Include products from the first page of the keyword on Amazon. Now, so what this is basically saying, and you can click on this, or not click on this, but hover over this. It says because the keyword is only searched for within the product title, products that show up on page 1 on Amazon for the keyword, it might not necessarily show up on KIPRT. Okay, the KIPRT results when you're looking at this. So this is what it's saying, is that because KIPRT's going into its database and finding just the keyword you use to search product titles, it's not going to necessarily be the thing on the first page if you went to Amazon and searched, okay? So what you can do is you can click this, and it will try and get the things that are on the first page of Amazon for you, or at least at some point in time were on the first page, okay? The negative keywords, say you searched for battlefield. What am I doing? 1. Okay. But you wanted to get rid of any negative keywords. Okay, so it might be something like maybe you were looking for Battlefield 1 pillows or something like that, and you didn't want the game, right? Might do something like negative keywords being like video game. I don't know. That'd be kind of weird, but yeah. So maybe video game would be the negative keyword. So it'll search the product title. You put in this right there, and it will not bring anything that has video game in there. Okay. You can also use a list of ASINs. ASINs, if you don't know what those are, if you've never used them, basically they're the unique identifier that Amazon uses for each product. You can put a whole list in there. I generally don't do that. UPC list, you can search by UPC. I don't do that as well because why do I use KIPRT? I use it mainly for finding new products. Okay. Search brands. This is actually really, really cool, and I use this a lot. Okay, I actually go through this in my free course and I show how I use this, but you can actually go and search by brand in Amazon. There's a little brand field. You can search by brand and it can give you some really, really cool data. Now, the thing with this is that it has to be case sensitive. Okay, it is case sensitive. So say it's Tyco. You have to use the capital T right there or else it's not going to work. If you do Tyco like that with a lowercase, it will not work, okay? Or it might find products that are not what you're looking for, okay? So it has to be case sensitive and no spaces unless there is a space in that thing. All right, filter bestseller rank. Filter bestseller rank. So you can start filtering from lowest to highest on the BSR, the bestseller rank. Now, the cool thing is you don't have to enter in anything if you don't want to. So say I want to find anything that is 500 BSR on the low end, but I want everything else after that. You can just leave this higher thing completely empty, okay? And likewise, if you want to just see everything that's below 100,000 or whatever, you can put that right there, and it'll get everything that's 100,000 or below. Okay. So that's for the bestseller rank. Next is filter estimated sales per day. Okay, this is based off of what the algorithm is for KIPRT. So you can say if you want 50 sales per day and above, you just put 50 right there. Or if you want anything that's under 100 sales per day, you can just put 100 there. Or whatever. Or you can say, I want between 25 and 100. You can do that as well. Sales price, this is actually pretty cool. So with me as a drop shipper, when I'm drop shipping on Amazon, I generally like to find things that are a little bit more expensive. So for me, I don't mind going $100 or more. Sometimes I don't even mind going $1,000 or more. Okay. And so KIPRT will only show me those things that are $1,000 or more. Okay. Pretty cool. Current review count. This is how many reviews the product has. So if it has 5 or more reviews, this is not the stars, okay? So maybe it would be 10 or more reviews from people. It'll try and find anything that has 10 or more reviews, okay? Now this sometimes can be a little bit wonky as well, just because Amazon does a good job of getting rid of fake reviews. And so sometimes you'll find things that it might have 100 views on KIPRT, and then you go to Amazon and it ends up having 5 reviews because Amazon maybe that week took away a ton of reviews. That sometimes happens. But the cool thing is you actually have the historical data, so you can see if that's your competition, you know right away that they're buying reviews. That's how they're doing it. So it's a little bit more intelligence on your data. Then you have filter current review rating. Filter current review rating, which is right here. What this is a 1 to 5. Okay, so you say you want anything that's 3 stars and above to only show. You can put that right there. Number of new offers. This is really, really useful, especially if you're doing, say you're doing wholesale. In the course that my free course, I show how to do this on wholesale and how to find products that people are able that you could be able to sell via wholesale. and still be able to make a profit off it, even though you know there's other people on there. So a couple number of new offers. So you can say, I only want to see some things that have at least one new offer, okay? Or I want to see things that even have zero new offers. Maybe things that are there and are maybe out of stock, or there's only used or something like that. There might be something there. Or maybe I want to see things that have 3 new offers and but less than 10. Okay. All right. And then filter the number of images. So how many images does this product have? If it has more images, generally it's something that's being promoted more. It gives you a little bit more data into how much the person has vested in it. So the more images, the more than likely that it is selling as well. Just because it has a ton of images there, it seems that there's more of an investment there. So you can do it from 1 to whatever if you want to, but a number of images is what that's for. All right, so then filter estimated FBA monthly net profit. Okay, so this is a little bit confusing to people. All right, when it says monthly net profit, they don't know your cost of goods, okay? Keyword Inspector does not know your cost of goods, so you have to kind of figure that in. But say you want to make at least $10,000 per month off of this item after FBA fees and everything like that. And then you figure out what your cost of goods is going to be. That's what you would put there, okay? So that's what that's there. And there are a lot of people who say, well, how could you know your net profit without cost of goods? Well, duh, you're not going to be able to do that unless it had its own little setup to put in how much this particular product costs from a vendor. Product size, you can select standard or oversize. You just do that by clicking there, or if you hold the control key, you can select both. You can filter by weight of the product. So for any shipping concerns, things like that, you can filter by weight. That's pretty cool. Filter number of page 1 keyword searches product is ranking for. So this is interesting. Okay, so this is using the Keyword Inspector reverse ASIN thing, other tool that they have. And what it's doing is it's saying it's going and saying how many keywords in the reverse ASIN tool is this particular product or whatever product. How many of those keywords does it rank on the first page for? That can be pretty darn powerful, right? Especially if you're doing wholesale or something like that. You know it's selling. That is pretty powerful. All right, you already know that you can take that and then you can find the keywords and you can start promoting even more with that. So that's really interesting. It's a really interesting thing. All right, and next you can start selecting the categories, whatever categories you want to start searching in. Okay, so you can click whatever. You can hold control. You can hold control to take it off, etc. Then this where it says get historical data, I always leave that checked. Basically, you get a bunch of graphs and things like that showing showing how many reviews per month, how many, what the price change has been. Because sometimes, there might be a huge spike in sales, but it might be because the price changed, right? It went from selling at $89 down to $29 because they're doing a promo, or to $9 because they're doing a promo, and that's why, boom, the sales rank jumps up, or the sales rank gets way, way better. So it's just really, really good to see the historical data on that. And then get child variations. I always leave that on. It'll get all the child variations from the parent. Batch size. This is a confusing little thing, okay? Batch size. It depends on if you have, they have a fledgling version, a savvy version, and I forgot what the last version was. But basically, with the fledgling version, you can only do a 25 batch size. And basically what this is, from what I understand, it is caching the amount of products that KIPRT gets. And so for you, okay? So that when you're looking through the products, it's all cached and so on. So if you do a if you do a 25 batch size, it will come and bring 25 products to you at a time or whatever. I think fledgling is 25 and then savvy is 75 per batch. And so I usually do 75 per batch. And you click that and it should change it to 75. So anyway, that's my understanding, okay? And then include products sold by Amazon.com. You're gonna have that checked or not, and any product that KIPRT finds that also has Amazon.com on there, if you have this checked, it will put in there. If it's unchecked, then it won't. And then include deleted products. This is really interesting because this will go and find products. This is why I love the historical data. It'll find products that people are no longer selling, or a listing that people are no longer listing on, because because of that, you can really you can exploit that nobody else is selling that product anymore. Maybe it might be because the supplier didn't want to sell on Amazon anymore, but it might be because the supplier themselves weren't selling on Amazon, and they ended up they were relying on dealers who were selling on Amazon, and the dealer stopped selling, or he didn't want to sell it anymore. It might be something like that. So it's really, really interesting to see this, and this is why I love the historical data from KIPRT. All right, so all that being said and done, all right, let's run a quick thing. I'm going to give you a quick tip, and then we're going to I'll share my free course with you that goes more into how to find wholesale products. It's really like a 1-2 punch with KIPRT. It's really awesome. It's a great way to find suppliers and find products that are selling really, really well on Amazon. Okay, so my biggest tip with KIPRT for anybody, okay, is to put as little as possible into these fields, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? I don't typically search for keywords. I don't search for ASINs, things like that, because I'm looking for products that I want to buy or sell that I never would have thought of before. And so for me, I might search for something like, let's just say number of new offers 2, and we're just going to say 2 right here. So I want things that I know people are selling, but there's not too many people on there. And then what I want to do is, let's just say estimated sales per day 5, and then the sales price over 100. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's it. I want to do something like that, or if I wanted to do, say, automotive or health and beauty, I can say I'll keep it. I'll just keep it very, very light as to what I want to do. But I'm going to even just do that right now. Then I'm going to hit the search product key right there, and it's going to take a while to do this. All right, it's going to take a while, but I'm going to get a ton of ideas that I never would have thought of before. Okay, so while this is going on, I'm going to pause it, and we'll come back right after. All right, cool. So here's what it gave. Now, if you haven't seen the data video, go check out the data video that I did on this, so you understand what the data is, because we go through that whole thing. Yes, I know these videos are boring right now, but you have to know these things. These are the data videos, the data video and field videos, etc. So sorry, that's the way it is. But here, so now we can see that. Let me see if. Okay. So I always go to the right and see how many sales per day. So this has a average sales per day of 395. It always goes from top to bottom here. Okay. So let's see what this is. So bested raised air bed with built-in pump and queen. Obviously you're going to have like things like the hoverboards. So beds. I'm trying to look for something that's just kind of interesting. Let's see. You're going to find cell phones and things like that. A lot of electronics happen if you don't use the categories, but that's okay. Sometimes I don't like using the categories. So one thing I also do on the left-hand side over here is there's a page. So this is really weird. So I always think that the page size is here. This is actually the batch size, but the page size, you can click on that and I always try and go to like 100 page size. Let it do its thing. All right, cool. So let's scroll down. Now it should give us some more. Okay, there we go. So we have a kind of ice maker, top load electric ice maker. Respirator. Interesting. But you'll see, like right there, I would never have thought of a gas mask respirator. I would maybe see if I can get a, see if I can get an account with these guys or something like that, or have something made. This one looks like it's made in America. Yep, assembled in America. But yeah, things like that. I never would have thought of kind of gas masks. I didn't even know you can do that. Here we have some dust pollution masks, things like that. Let's see how much this was actually selling for. Not selling for, but how many are actually selling. So 95, this is 95 per day. And that's not bad. 95 per day at $249, I think it is. Yeah, $249. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Like that. Cool. So that's how you run a search on Keyword Inspector, the Keyword Inspector product research tool. And I really like it. It's awesome. This is the boring stuff. This is how to actually run the searches and things like that. But one thing that you'll want to do is know how to do this for business, how to find suppliers with this, how to find good products that are going to sell, etc. So if you like, you can check out my free course on how I use KIPRT to find wholesale vendors. And then when I find wholesale vendors, if I end up getting the wholesale account, I then use some Keyword Inspector product research tool fields to find other things that particular supplier has that's going to be profitable, and sell those as well. So if you want, go to www.academytrainings.com/KIPRT, KIPRT. That's academytrainings.com/KIPRT, KIPRT, and you'll get my 1-2 punch training that I do for KIPRT, for Keyword Inspector's product research tool. All right, guys, hope that you enjoyed that. Academy members, you are amazing. Also go to theonlineempireacademy.com, check that out. And if you like this, give it a thumbs up. We've got some more training coming up for Keyword Inspector in the next few days, and we will see you when that happens. Have a great one. Dean Soto with the Online Empire Academy. Catch you later.